So all right, are we live now? There we go. Thank you so much. You know, Monday mornings, it's Friday morning. Where is my head? So sorry about that. Yeah, just needed to switch over to YouTube and all that stuff and make sure that's good. So I see you now. Bobby Orlando, good to see you here. Steve, Sharias? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but welcome. Annika, good to have you here. Clarissa, Susan, Jan, thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to animate some logos, which again, so we log all this data. I'm sure Tim helps with that, so thank you so much, Tim. In terms of, you know, content that you guys like to see, and that's why I'm doing this session, which is all about animating logos, because it's one of the higher requested things you guys want to learn, so this is good. So, all right, cool. Yeah, I have 3 monitors. I have way too many monitors with way too many things going on typically. That's why, but yeah, that's yeah, that's a whole thing. But we're back now, and I'm so thankful you guys are here. You could see kind of like this is the logo that I was going to work with, so hopefully it works for you guys. Amazing games, right? So again, could be anything, amazing, whatever. Been really into like puzzles lately, just so you know. And just kind of give you a reference. Been trying to work on this puzzle, guys. Look at this. Look at how complex this is. Yeah, look, it's like my background. Geez, you you certainly have things you like. Look at this puzzle. It's ridiculous. Can't get this whole area. This whole area is just like blank. So it's so hard. But just really into puzzles right now. Which is why it's kind of like inspired this logo and then the animation that's going to take place as well. So that's the idea. Notice I am in Illustrator, which everything begins in Illustrator, right? It all starts here. We can see right in here, we just see these are made of lines. We have some text down here, Command Y, you could see what this is made up of, right? Puzzles are fun. Puzzles suck you in, don't they? They suck you in, and then there goes hours and hours. You're like, why did they just not cut it up in the first place and I wouldn't have this problem? But anyways, this is kind of how this is set up. You know, oftentimes with logos, even the text will be outlined. Okay, so, but you typically, for any brand, you know the font. But this is what this is. Command Y. I'm using the Peri Peri color, by the way, which is the color of the year, just so you know. Pantone's color of the year, Peri Peri. Peri Peri is a sauce, by the way. Very Peri is apparently a color that they invented, because it's all about some hesitant optimism, basically, right? Like, we want to be excited about the future. So we're going to give it a little bit of color, but it's not far away from gray. So anyways, so that's kind of where that comes from. We're going to bring that into, in fact, I don't even know where I saved this. Let's save this to my desktop. Okay, good. It's saved to my desktop. We could save it out. We can jump out there. We can see, here's my particular logo that I can load into After Effects. I'm going to do it 2 different ways, just so you know. It's a meh color, in your opinion. Yeah. You know, it really does need to be, and I posted this on Twitter, and I think people were like, yeah, I kind of need to pair it with something else to make it more interesting. It's kind of what people think. And yeah, it's kind of a meh color. Like, it's not exciting. Like, my color palette lately is just vibrant blue. Give me an electric blue, and I'm like, man, that's an awesome color. Okay, so I'm dragging that into my properties panel in After Effects, okay? And just so you know, just so I can step back, just so you know where I got to this part, I went to File, New Project, right? That's all I did. And I did create a new composition. It's like creating a new canvas. I'm going to post this to Instagram, which is why I have it set to this size, right? And you can see the very Peri color right there. So that's how I've gotten to this point right here, okay? Here we are. All right, so once you're there, just grab it, bring it in. This is going to be fun. I don't know how much you guys do After Effects. That's the thing. Reverb mic, General Kenobi, like, you know, I think people are into it, but I don't know their level of, you know, use of After Effects. Oops. But again, this is After Effects for designers. So there it is. There's my Illustrator file. This could just easily be a Photoshop file. Notice I can go to File, Import, File. Just so you know, sometimes these files get treated differently depending on how you open them. So notice when I open this up, it says, hey, you know what? You want to bring everything in as footage or even as its own composition, right? Have the all the dimensions be the layer size. So not the document size, because I don't want one little line in my design to be the whole document size. So layer size will make this composition. So I'm showing you guys the difference between these two. The first one, we just got this, which we could load into our composition, and it's one asset. The second way, which is this one, everything came in its own composition, right? A composition is just like a document. And the layers come in as those individual elements. The pen tool is the pen tool is the pen. That's about it. And that's good. It's like, you know what? That's what's nice. You know, I get it. Adobe's bought companies and different stuff, but like, if everything's under one roof, you know, if all companies just use the same methodology for the pen tool and some of that stuff, it's going to make our life easier. But yeah, it's super easy in After Effects. Let's slide my head over there. Okay, so I brought this in. What do we have? We have Amazing Games. We have the logo. And we have apparently the background. Logo's on its own separate layer. If I go back into Illustrator, we can see that that's how this is set up. So like we have our logo. We have our background. Okay. And so now knowing that, we can divide this up. Maybe we want to go back into Illustrator and divide this up some more. Yeah, you can do that. That's probably, you know, probably what I would do. You know, I would split this up. I'd take this, I'd cut it. But I'm going to show you an easier way in a second, by the way. So we'll have our text, and then we'll have our different like logo shapes. So let's take this. You know, these are all the elements that I have, but you know, I could have a bunch of layers, and then I could just start dropping those on. Boom, shaboom, shabow, zib, ga, da, za. Okay, so now we have all these elements on different layers. So we'll even call this layer 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so with this new Amaze AI, everything's going to come in that way. So hopefully that makes sense, right? Notice how it breaks it. I'm glad this happens. Do I use Overlord? Oh, Clarissa's setting me up, because that's what I do use, and that's like just the easier way. But notice how this broke, because it says, hey, Paul, you messed with that file. I can no longer find a logo layer, and that's just to show that these files are connected, right? So that's probably the first big mistake you'll make, is you'll break things. So my After Effects file is actually in here. There's my After Effects file, and here's my logo file. Even if I move this someplace else, it's gonna, you know, give me problems. So anyways, you guys realize that. And that's how it works. It's all connected. Kind of like life, huh? It's all connected. So I usually keep everything in one folder. We'll go back in here. We'll get rid of all this stuff because we don't need most of it, right? And then we'll take this, we'll drop it in, import it as a composition. And by the way, let's just watch it over here. We're importing it as a composition. Click OK. You can see these things that it made. And guess what? There's all of our layers. Pretty easy. Hopefully this is making sense. Oh, and copy and paste is your friend. So that's our next sort of method as well, right? So this is linked, which I like that. If I copy and paste it, it's no longer linked. So it's totally up to you on like the way you want to go, the advantage you want to go with one over the other, right? Because if it is linked back to this file, I can jump in, edit this, and then it will update back in After Effects, which is nice. Okay, let's try that copy and paste method, which I just typically don't do, to be honest with you. Let's just take this element. Let's copy it. Let's go in here. Let's see what happens. I'm in comp 1, basically. Nothing. I might have to have a new layer, but I typically don't use that method. So I think you know how I'm going to... Okay, so like looking at this, you kind of know how I'm going to animate it. I think it kind of makes sense. But let's go in here. Here's all of our layers. Right, here's our text. Let's turn that on. Amazing games. And then we can start playing with these individual elements. As I twirl this down, you could see that this is just like a line. It basically is its own layer. Okay, so that's one way. Let's actually move that in here. So that's the Illustrator version. This is what I use. And again, I don't even know them over at Overlord, but I really like Overlord because you can literally take this stuff, right? Here's all my elements. Everything is laid out perfectly. Overlord is an extension that will allow you to go back and forth between Illustrator and After Effects. So here it is. From here, I can push the selection or pull among other options, but mainly it's this one right here. Let's push this to After Effects. Boom, push it. There everything is. Nice and neat. And we could see we have layer 8, layer 7, you get the idea. If we make any changes to this, we could pull it back in and then like tweak it some more. So if I edited this line in After Effects, I could say pull it from After Effects and continue editing it in Illustrator, because Illustrator is going to be a choice for editing vectors. All right. So much talking. It's like it's a live stream or something. Cheers, folks. Today's live stream is brought to you by Coconut Coffee. You know how you want to go on vacation, but you can't. Coconut Coffee. All right. So here we are. Amazing games. I have all of these lovely little lines, and now we can start animating them. In fact, I'll just turn off all of them. We'll start with this lovely one right in here. This is my favorite thing, and that's why I like showing this as like the easiest way to something awesome is doing this, especially if you're going from Illustrator, because it just makes the most sense, in my opinion, right? So layer 8, right? This is just a line. This, by the way, this is a shape layer. Just as if I went up here to layer, new, shape layer is right here as well. So I can create things from scratch. New shape layer, right? Right up here, you could see that it is, you know, I can make a star in these different shapes, and I can also draw. Okay, so basically what I did in Illustrator, I can go ahead and create, provided that stroke is absolutely huge. I can create what I want in After Effects as well. Okay. Ooh, you have Coconut Crunch coffee? That's awesome. Yeah, you know, on Amazon, you can buy, like I do the K-Cups because it's easy. You can buy like, a variety pack of like 50 different types of coffee, and it's awesome. All right, so that's how, this is just a path, right? Just like this other one is a path, right? We can jump in. We're able to edit it. If you could select it, make sure just put this above the other one. Oh. Shape layer 1. But we're actually able to, here's the center point. Let's see if I hold down the Option key. I need to grab this, pan behind. That's the anchor point tool. The anchor point was off for some reason, but again, now the anchor point's in the center. Scale it up, do whatever you want, right? We're not even going to be dealing with that. We're going to be dealing with this shape, right? What do we want to do? We want to animate it, right? We could animate all these parts sliding in, and that would be totally, like, kind of lame, if you ask me. Do you want to see the lame way or the cool way, right? Because it's like, yeah, I could have this piece, or maybe this top piece can slide in from the top, so I can go in here to my transform. I can turn on position. Typically with logos, they come together. Nantucket Pod, I guess. Oh yeah, I like it. Having a latte. Oh, I like hearing this. Umacorn's having a latte. Tanya, good morning. I technically have a coconut coffee, and then I have peppermint. I'm like double fisting it. All right, so here we are. Position. This is how all of After Effects works. Let's turn off these other layers just so you can see this in action. Right in here, we'll twirl this down. Here's all of our properties that we can animate, right? Typically, I'll scrub in maybe 1 second because it's already in its final position. I'll go ahead and click on position. We get this lovely keyframe right here. It says I'm going to be at this point, at this place, at this point in time. I'll be at this position, and then we can move it. Sure, we could scrub on these numbers all we want, but typically we're just like grab it, right, and move it on up. And you get the idea, okay? This is just the basics. Like, it's only going to take me a minute to do this. Like, we could have it slide in. Let's go ahead and have this fit to screen. You know, that can slide in like so, right? That's kind of boring. I could do that for all of these. You want to know a fast way of doing it? Let's say you want to do it this way, okay? Let's do that. Let's do this the fastest way possible. This is how I do that. It's kind of boring, but hey. You want to get to something awesome, go like this. Ugh, gosh, I can't grab. Ugh. You know, sometimes it's just too sensitive. There we go. Okay. I want to animate all this stuff. Guess what? I'll select all these layers. Hit P for position. That opens up the position. Scrub in 1 second. Hit the position timer right here. That adds a keyframe 1 second in for all of those. Scrub back out. Now all you need to do is start moving this stuff around. Move that up. Move that up. Move that over. Right? You get the idea. Zip, 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 zip. Right? Guess what? We don't want the text to appear till later on. What do? We grab this element and we scoot it on over 1 second, like so. Okay, so that's how we would animate this coming together, right? This is your first 5 minutes in animation class. This is, what an animation could look like, right? Pretty basic. We want to get a little bit more fancy. We could add a little bit of easing to it. So right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease. I just do easy ease. I could do easy ease out. That's fine. But again, that's how everything kind of comes together. Zoop, just like that, okay? Hit the tilde key. That will go ahead and bring up like any screen. Let's see if I can hit spacebar. There we go, right? You can see it kind of come together. My timeline is extra long, right? Look at how long my timeline. My timeline is 5 seconds because when you first create a composition, this is one thing I didn't show you. It's actually at 4 seconds long. Okay, so you could always change this by just going to composition settings. So you could adjust that accordingly, right? I actually do want this to be a pretty short one, so we could jump in here and say, hey, you know what? Let's make this 2 seconds so we're not waiting so long, right? You get the idea. And then hit the tilde key is the little squiggly line. That will maximize any panel. You can see that come together. All right, we did it. Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Pump the brakes, Mike. Whoa. You want to add expressions? Come on, man. We just got started in here. You're going. You really are like, you're just like pedal to the floor. We are just getting started here. Because this is what this is like begging for, in my opinion. Let's move this actually down. Is this shape needs to kind of build in as if the maze is being drawn. Okay, so that's what I want to do. Right? So we want to have each one of these lines draw in. So that's what we're going to do right now. Let's struggle with pulling this up. Turning off everything. We'll take one of these. We'll actually just take this top one again. We'll take layer 8. This is the one I started with. Twirl that down. We'll open up layer 8, which is just this line. Wait, what? Why is there... Did I click on the wrong one? Okay, there we go. I was in the wrong file. I could have left all of that. But okay, so these are my shape layers, right? This is a shape layer. I pulled this in using Overlord. Right in here for layer 7. We're back to where we were. What I want to do, notice right in here, since this is a shape layer, it's going to have a path, a stroke. It might have a fill, whatever you've given it. But you can control this as well as I scroll that down. Right in here, this little add. Okay, so this is all you need to know. We want to add something cool. We want to add something that will trim the path, right? And sort of build that path into place. So we want to trim the path right here. So we've clicked the add animation, trim paths, pop. That turns this on, that adds this. We'll twirl that down. And now we can define a start and an end. It's already at 100%. So what do we need to do? It's like we can take this 100% down and we can see that line start to disappear, right? And we can see it reappear. And all I'm doing is scrubbing on the end, taking it from 0 to 100. So what this means is I can start to play with this. So we'll keep it at 100. We'll add again, we got to add our little keyframe, clicking that stopwatch. Oftentimes I'll click the start stopwatch too. I don't know why, because I'm always controlling these two numbers. So that's why sometimes I'll just add that one as well. Scrub back, go right here, and sure enough, we'll take this down to 0. Right? What's going to happen if we hit the space bar? It's going to animate in. Okay? Super easy. So this is really cool because, again, you have this control when it comes to Illustrator. Like taking all that hard work you do in Illustrator and just bringing it to life, literally just by using trim paths, right? So we'll copy. I actually don't know if copy and paste will work. I feel like sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and I don't know if it depends on what I have selected. But let's go in here. Let's go to this group, I guess, and V. Cool. So trim paths works when you paste it. Let me just confirm that it works. So, by the way, I just added it for this layer 8. So we'll hit spacebar. We'd see 2 lines animate in, like so. Let me try that again for this one. I'm just going to twirl this down. I'm going to keep this layer selected. I'm going to see if I paste. Ah, interesting. Okay. So, Anel, this might reverb mic, since you know your stuff. It seems like you need to... Since you're pasting in something into this layer group, you have to have that, just select that group wherever you want to add that trim path. So since I copied the trim paths from here, just make sure that's selected and paste it in, and it'll put it in the right spot. So that's probably what I ran into earlier. So that's all. Let's go on down the line. Nice and easy. Ooh, this has 2 paths. Something's happening here, folks. But let's paste it in anyways. Ooh, this is, it's not turned on. By the way, just like in, again, pen tool's the pen tool, eyeball's the eyeball, on and off, right? That's how that works. But yeah, it would help if these were like turned on. Because again, that was my problem there. Turn on the layer, huh? Solve your problems that way. Well, you gotta make it hard on yourself, you know? Sometimes it's the little things. Trim paths. Right on. It's in there for all of them. All right. Expand this down. Spacebar. We can see that build in. So we'll just watch that roll. In fact, let me just change this to 1 second. Right? Taste Jaw, thank you so much for pasting that Overlord link in for me. So yeah, it's doing its thing. Super easy. Remember, everything's animating in at once, and it goes from like 0 to 100. There's no easing. But now it's cool that we start to get to play with this a little bit more, right? So we can think about maybe certain parts animate in faster than others and all that good stuff. So let's play with this a little bit more since we have the basic structure down. Since we have all this animation and all these different layers, just select them all, right? And your magic key, I actually love it, is hit U. U is the Uber key, right? That's gonna, excuse me. Sorry. That's gonna bring up all your keyframes and nothing else. So that's so nice. It brought up everything and it's cool, right? And what we could do is we could take these, maybe we'll have them go faster, maybe in 15 frames. And another thing I love to do is I love to add the easy ease, right? Have it slow down as it reaches that final spot, okay? So easy ease just like that, boom, okay? And then from there, we can start to stagger these out all we want. You can do this different ways. I'm gonna start to look at this, and this is where I need to make some design decisions too, because I actually want more of the shape of the A to develop first, and then the outer portion, sort of like in to out. So let's find the inner part, which is right here. Okay, so that one will go first. Oh, I like this one, right? This one will go second. No. Yes. What is this? Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, so I have them, excuse me, going in the order that I want them to animate in. And then all I do is stagger them out, like just kind of push them down. Push them down like so. And by the time it reaches 1 second, they'll all would have animated in. Ugh. Hardest part has been grabbing this little line for some reason. See? Sure, it goes faster, but they should slow down as they reach that final point. Maybe it's too much. Maybe you guys don't like it. I don't know if I really like it, to be honest with you. It's almost too, like, frenetic, too fast. It's going too fast, guys. It's making me all nervous. So let's kind of undo some of this. And let's stagger this. We're going to do this a different way. They're all going to start at the same time, but they're going to finish at different times. So we're going to move that out. We're going to move this one out. They're all just going to kind of have their own, like, pace, is what I was thinking. But again, this is what you'll do. You just kind of play with this. I think 1 second is awfully fast, by the way. So Command K to bring up your settings for your composition. We'll jump this out, say 3 seconds. I know what usually happens for me is my animations are so slow, and then I have to tighten them all up. But, you know, in this case, it's kind of the opposite. Oh, what's the shortcut key? There we go. Got it. We could talk about shortcut keys too. Because what happens now that I've extended this out, all of these need to be extended out to the end, right? What you can do, this is a nice shortcut key. You could select them all. Option closing bracket will extend everything to your timeline marker. Okay. Okay, but that's going. We can stretch everything out. How am I doing, guys? How's my voice today? You guys annoyed at my voice? Am I yelling? I feel like I'm yelling. I feel like I'm not using my inside voice. It's like, dude, we're right here. We're not across the room. Much better. Oh, there's a tool to stagger keyframes. Awesome. That's so much better. Look at this. I love it. Because it's like, hey, we get the idea, and then these little pieces, they slowly kind of come in. It's so nice. I'm into it. All right, so we've done line work. We've done basic shapes. We could have more fun with this. You want to do something fun? Guys, you want to do something fun? Let's do something fun. Okay, we're going to add like an elegant little touch to this. I think this is going to be really neat. So everything is in comp 1. We'll just call this comp 1 logo. Okay, we're going to have a new composition. Set to 5 seconds. Right, and we're going to take this logo and we're going to bring it into this new composition. So here's my logo composition. It's like my logo document. Everything's in. So I'll double click, and now we're back in where everything is. Okay, so we'll go back out. Let's actually close this other stuff. Let's close that. We'll even call this like, I don't even know what this should be like. Final animation. That's what we'll call this. Final animation. Let me move this here. All right, there we go. So inside of final animation is this logo. I thought this would be kind of fun. Let's duplicate this. So we have this animation going, by the way. Let's make sure this is transparent. Okay, good. I think. Hold on one sec. Yeah, it's probably fine. I don't know. Anyways, let's take this. We're going to duplicate it. Command D will duplicate it. And let's make this one like the one beneath it is going to be like a different color. So let's take this one below, and we're going to go into effects and presets, and we need to colorize it. So we go into like color correction, color balance, hue and saturation will work. Right, let's just drop this on here, right? When I drop it on, you can see that here's all my controls, very similar to, say, Photoshop, right? We'll take the lightness down, right? Ooh, and we'll colorize it first. Bring that down. You know what? There's easier ways to do this, but in case I need to cycle or I want to like cycle to different colors, this gives me that flexibility. Saturation. Whoa, hello. We do want it to be kind of like electric. I think a gold might work. So we're just going to give it a little pop color. So Star Asia, just so you know, this came from, and for those of you just joining me, this came from Illustrator. And I brought it into After Effects. And I was actually showing off this extension called Overlord, which will push Illustrator stuff to After Effects very easily. All right, so there's my fun color. Okay, let's turn this on. Remember, we have the white over it, but I want this gold. I want this gold to be just like on the tip, like kind of leading the way. So there's going to be a gold, or maybe I'll make it hot pink, is going to be leading the way. So it needs to be a step ahead. So again, let's go back in here. Let's actually change the color, by the way. I decided like a hot pink would be cool. How the heck do you do that, Paul? Well, we need to speed this up. So we need to adjust the timing of this. So we'll go to layer. We need to play with the time. We'll go down to time. And we'll do, we could do time remapping. We could do a time stretch. Okay, stretch or retract, right? So go to time stretch. You get right here, it's at 100%, so currently 3 seconds. We can do like 90, right? So it's at 90%, and it'll be ahead of it, right? And we'll click OK, right? So now it's a step ahead, right? Just by a touch. And that's something you'll play with, but it's cool that it's just like gonna be a little step ahead as it goes through. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, right? See, just I want that little pop of color, but I want to maintain the integrity of the logo, right? So this is where animators get to have fun. Okay, so I'm going to do that again because I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Let's add a couple more colors in here. Why not? Right? So this is going to be, oops, double clicked on it. This will be, you know, like logo, pink. We'll duplicate this, Command D. We'll have logo orange. I usually don't name things the color because I change the color too much. So it'd be like color 1, color 2, color 3, right? But let's take this logo orange and make it orange. Like that. Okay, now we have our orange in there, and we need to change the pacing of it as well. So in this case, we'll go back in there to layer, time, and we'll go to time stretch. So remember, as 90, we will make this like 95. I make that 95, so it's going to be slower. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to cancel that. Sorry. I want it to be maybe orange and then pink. I'm sorry, orange. So let's flip these. Let's go to the pink layer. We're going to go to time stretch, and then we're going to take this to 95. There we go. Anyways, I just wanted I wanted the what just happened? Hold on, wait for it. Please don't crash on me. Why is this like cranked all the way over there? Something weird is happening. Don't touch a thing. Save the file. Why is this crammed all the way over here? Ugh, and I can't grab it. That is very weird. Something's happening that's weird. I must have... Okay. That is so weird. There we are. Okay, I just pasted it in a new file. There we go. So it's working. Now we have these fun, like, traces of colors kind of like rolling through. We'll throw one more in there. Let's throw in a blue. Why not? Remember, this one is our orange. Oh, yeah, by the way, this is interesting. Sometimes you'll have the layer name or the source name. So the source name is that logo composition. So you can always kind of see where it came from. This means that it's from the layer composition, that layer file, that logo sort of document, and these are the ones that I named. So you could always toggle back and say, okay, that's where that is from. They're all technically the logo comp. Let's duplicate this once more. Let's make this blue. Actually, it's going to be more like a purple. Move that down. Logo purple. Time stretch. We'll do 90, like 97. Click OK. Oh, we need to change the color. Oh yeah, it needs to be on top. Sorry about that. To more of a maybe a blue. See, that's why I don't name things the color. Don't name them the color because you're gonna end up changing the color. Dang it! I should have stuck to the way I always do it. Hit the space bar. Do you guys like that? Is it showing up okay? I don't know what you guys... maybe add a short glow at the end. That would make the whole thing glow, so that's kind of another thing we'd need to work on. So I'm into it. Makes everything like a little bit more complex, but that's okay. Because I want to get into... I've gone 40 minutes. Oh, good. I still have like about... People want blur. Hey, Anel, how you doing? Good to see you. Fog, water drops, all that stuff. So let's get into sort of like, I think we've animated this line enough. We could add some glows to it. I think glows would be kind of fun. That's going to just make it a little more tricky. But we could do it. You guys want to do it? All right. Break it up. You guys are killing me. All right. Well, I'm not gonna sweat it. Yeah. So there's ways to do this. Like if I wanted this to glow, literally just if you need to find anything, just go up here, glow, type it in. Okay, there's glow. Perfect. Drag it. You can either drag it to the frame or drag it to the layer. So drag it to your document or to your layer. So notice how it glows everything. So this is where you have the issue of you really just want it to glow just the end. And that's where you kind of run into that issue. So what that means is that I'd have to go to logo. I'd have to duplicate this. This would be called logo glow. I would double click on that. I would go in here. I would start to make this so it ends, like doing all the things. This is where it's like, okay, I got to get to work. I'm going to put on some, I don't know, some Radiohead. I think I'm going to play some Radiohead today. You guys like Radiohead? Always open to new bands that you guys might have. Okay, so this, turn this off. Do you guys really want to know about this? This is really straightforward. This would be the start, maybe 10. Nope, 5. Start out as 5. So here's my little line. This is what I would do. That's fine. We'll take this up to 100. Let's do this. This will be close enough. So it starts out at 5%. It's going to start out at just 5%, as you can see over here. So only 5% of it's showing. And then it's going to, I guess depending on the corner. Oh, that's interesting. It's because of this guy. Keyframe velocity. Hold on one sec. Right click. Keyframe. So here, you ready for some complexity that I didn't want to get into? Right click. I want to remove this easy ease because these aren't going to start out the same way. They could. You know what? Screw it. Yeah, no. I need to just remove it. So let's just select this. Keyframe interpolation. Don't make it Bezier. Just make it linear again. Click OK. And now it's back to normal. So we just need to make it sure it's linear and starts out the same way. Now it's the same and it rolls through. But we need to make sure it's just giving me that hint of it. Kind of like that. Anyway, folks, let me just move through this really fast. Ah, dang it. Sorry. I'm sorry for doing work. No. All right. 5. You'll see this in a second. Hopefully this makes sense. So we're just adding the tip. People asked for a glow. You're like, you demanded a glow on the end. So that means we have to make a separate animation of just the tip that will then glow. All right, so let's turn on all these. Even though it's playing with all those numbers, we should just see that kind of let like the tips of these run around. Right? It's not perfect, but it'll work. Right? Some of them might get longer than others, but we could always adjust it. Let's take a look. Yeah, that looks good. Sorry, folks. Ah! Some of these are getting really long. There we go. Okay, we did it. So this is logo glow. We'll go to our final animation. Cross our fingers because there we go. Save the file. I'm going to delete that. There we go. I don't know how to. Here's a question for you. I'm always willing to admit when I don't know how to do things. How do you replace a composition, one composition with another composition? How do I just like replace these two? I just want to replace this one with this one. So if anybody knows, like, let me know. I think I've ran into this before. It's like, is there a way to just like replace, you know, composition replace? So I'll watch chat for that here in a second. But essentially it just means I need to add this. By the way, I need to add this hue and saturation and the glow. We'll copy both those. We'll paste it to this new one. We'll adjust the time to 90. And then we should be good to go. Let's delete that. And now we have it glowing. Now that one's glowing. It's a little... So we still kind of have a little bit of an issue. There's a little bit of a gap there, but yeah, there you have it. From the project panel, drag the image or composition you want instead of the selected layer while holding the Alt key. The Alt key, so or Option key, just same way like in Premiere Pro. Oh, that's so good. Thank you, Tim. You're the best, man. You're the best. So here's the glow. We can play with that all day long, right? Again, if we want it more intense, more brighter, you get the idea. Okay, cool. Let's move on with the rest of our design. Zip, zip. It's electric. Hey, by the way, I just want to pause and say thank you so much. Oh, shoot, I only have 5 minutes. Just say thank you because you guys are so good. You guys are what makes this look good. Like, so thank you so much. Like, that really it's these little details that, like, just make it look so good. So thank you so much. That's awesome. Like, seriously. So I'm so happy with it now. I was like, really? You guys are going to make me do this? And you're like, yeah, Paul, do it. Okay, let's see if Overlord, we'll go down here. We'll select this text, take both of those. We'll go to Overlord. We're going to push this text over there now too. Ready? Pushing it on over. Our text comes through. Guess what? We could also just have we could have used our text tool and typed it in as well if we wanted to, right? This is easier. I just wanted to kind of highlight like animating text as well. So go into here, let's turn that off. You could go through some of this stuff. There's animation presets. You can go to text and you're like, what the heck? Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Andreas, what's up? Like fade up and flip. Yeah, that might work. Let's go right in here. Hold on, wait for it. Come on, Paul, get the... Yeah, I can't grab these lines. Okay, hold on one second. Browse presets. This is what I was looking for. Browse presets, right? That's going to open up Bridge, and then you can start to browse some of that content. So let's just kind of scale that up. We'll go into text, right? We want to animate in, so we'll double click there, and we can start to see these sort of animating in. Now that makes sense. Characters shuffle in. I know what that means now, right? I still want to do something random since this is a puzzle. Random word, random shuffle in. Oh, I kind of like this one. Is this, maybe it's too simple, but I'll go with this one. A random fade up, right? Double click, and it gets applied to whatever you had selected, right? So again, that's random fade up. So I could even type that in, a random fade. If I could type random fade up, boom, there it is. And now we can see that text kind of fading in as well, or fading up or whatever, right? If we hit U key, our Uber key, it will reveal the keyframes for those letters kind of sliding into place, right? That we could easily adjust. There's more in here, by the way. If I twirl this down, you could see all the options you get for the text. So again, this isn't moving X or Y or anything. It's just fading up. You have the offset. Oh, we can twirl down into advanced. The smoothness, the shape, easing quality, all that stuff. So play with that all you want. all I'm going to do is push this out a little bit more, like so. And we're going to make sure amazing comes in before games. I'll hit the U key again. I'll select both those keyframes. Right click. G, da, za. Easy ease. All right. Will there be a file we can doodle with? Yeah. Oh yeah, this complete file is actually should be all like self-contained. By the way, like so I'm just using a couple of these. This is all I'm using is these three. In fact, you can go in here if you want to clean it up. Go into dependencies, remove unused footage. Pop. That should remove. Oh, I guess it didn't remove anything. Okay, so I'm going to remove this. Like this is one that I didn't really use. Right? I can delete this whole folder. So basically all I'm doing is cleaning this up for you. So here's your final animation. Here's the logo glow. Here's the logo, right? Everything's set up. We can hit the space bar. Notice how this is going to disappear, right? Excuse me. Everything is just going to kind of disappear like that. You could animate the logo out as well, either by going into those individual animations and changing them, or you ready for this? This is what I would do because I am lazy. This is what I would do. You ready? Last tip. We're going to have this go for 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Right? That's the end of this animation. So this final animation, we're going to call it animation in. We're going to duplicate it, and we're going to have animation out. And then we're also going to have a final animation. Final, final, final. I mean it this time. Final animation. So here's your animation in. That's going to go. We're going to extend this, say 6 seconds. Hurry, Paul. I got 1 minute. Go. Animate out. Oh. Drop this in. Move that up. And what am I going to do? I'm going to take this layer. We're going to layer. What do we do? Time reverse layer. We just reverse that whole animation. Now we have it animating in, and then we have it animating out. Got it done just in time. I'll make sure this is the exact length of the initial one, 425. And now it's ready. It's only 4 seconds. I'm going to post this to Instagram as soon as I get a second. And then if you want the file, just hit me up through social media. And then I will give it to you if you're interested in this file. Okay? Does that work? Thanks, everybody. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate you hanging in there. And sorry for the initial rough start, but man, we did a lot, and I'm pretty proud of ourselves for what we created today. So you guys should be proud because you guys were the art directors. You guys were amazing. You guys were amazing. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a good one. Just one of the many things you can do. And stay tuned. More stuff coming up. We have Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. And then I'm going to be doing some Photoshop like pro tips, like not even pro tips, the hidden features, things that always get overlooked, overshadowed by larger features, usually during releases. So I'm going to dive really deep into Photoshop tips and features that just get overlooked. So thanks so much, everybody. You guys are awesome, and we'll be in touch. Good seeing ya. We'll see you in 90 minutes. Thanks.